What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the defense number 3. And this is a match between FnaticRC on the Radiant side and Baguette, the French team, on the Dire side. This is group number D, because D is now a number apparently. And Baguette, I think at this point, are 2-2. They beat Root, and they've beaten some other teams, me off Fnatic, and a whopping 5-0. And with me, I have a different co-caster. I have Blightwind again, back with me. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Looking forward to this. I mean, it's great to see a tournament like the Defense allow some of the lesser known teams like Baguette and some of the others get out there, and I'm looking forward to a good match.
Yeah, and especially since the group stages are winding down and we're seeing a lot of top tier teams and are probably going to move on to the next stage. It's going to shape up to be very exciting. It may not be any G League, but it's exciting at least to watch. And of course, if you want any other coverage, you can check out joindota.com, youtube.com/joindota, or our own 3D Joindota's channel. I'm not too sure what the stream link is there. But yeah, I'm sure Toby and whoever he co-casted this game with did a fantastic job. But we're going to be casting this game now, so we'll get right into it. So we're going to pause in 3, 2, 1, unpause. So, chose this game because as a pretty cool hero who does some pretty cool things, but should be really interesting because honestly I have not heard of Baguette before this tournament, but they've beaten Root, who has actually now looked very sharp, and they're going up Fnatic, who has just been dominating everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I haven't heard of Baguette before this tournament. I watched a couple of their matches uh, within the tournament itself, and they definitely seemed to be talented. They've got a lot of individual skills, so I really hope that they stick around and end up breaking out into the main scene. And then, like you said, Fnatic's just been absolutely on fire. I mean, we've they've had some high skill and they've got a pretty good team history behind them. So it's great to see them finally, starting to uh, fire on all cylinders.
Yeah, I think right now they're probably top 5 Western teams at the moment after winning the Fragbite Thor LAN Open, getting third place in the Star Ladder in the last season. I think they got pretty far in DreamHack. They might have gotten third place. I'm not too sure. But Baguette apparently no Fnatic's trademark is that Wisp Chaos Knight combination, so they're gonna bat that Wisp altogether, showing that hey, they've been doing some research. They are taking this tournament very seriously. Meanwhile, Fnatic banning out my favorite hero in the game, but unfortunately kind of broken, Batrider. So a little bit sad, but not too unexpected.
Yeah, Batrider's just one of those heroes that we've come to expect to be banned out. And then like you had said with the Wisp, there's a lot of things that combo well with Wisp. So it's easier rather than try to eliminate individual combos, because if you get rid of like the Chaos Knight, they could still do like a Wisp Tiny or a Wisp Sven. So just get rid of Wisp. Like Tiny is still scary, Chaos Knight can still be scary, but without that relocate, it doesn't create that global terror threat.
Yeah, and also the Wisp Chaos Knight lane is probably like the dumbest lane I've ever seen in my life. It literally stomps every single lane it goes up against, whether it be mid or wherever the lane is met up against, unless you run like a super dominant tri-lane against it. But yeah, not gonna have to deal with that at all because Wisp is gone. Bye bye Wisp. Not gonna miss you very much. But meanwhile, Fnatic gonna dip into a bit of their time. Baguette does have the first pick, so Fnatic probably gonna choose between the Undying or the Magnetar to ban out here. Considering that, well, they could leave both of them in the pool, so at least they get one of those heroes. But I think Fnatic probably are confident in themselves, so that they can ban out the hero that they don't like playing against and still feel pretty okay going against Baguette, who is not really, to be frank, the most well-known team.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, as far as what I've seen within the tournament, they're a decent team. I'm not going to say like they're rising like a shooting star or anything, but they definitely know talent. They definitely know kind of the pro scene metagame and how to react to a lot of combos. They obviously do their research because they know that Fnatic likes to do Wisp combos. And then I mean they pick up like they as soon as they see that Magnus is in the pool, they pick him up right away. So it's they're a talented team, and I'm excited to see how exactly they approach this.
Yep, so of course when I mentioned Magnus Sunday, I did forget about a certain scaly bug in the form of Nyx, so we'll see if Fnatic decides to choose the Undying here. Not really too sure what other heroes they could go for. They're a very versatile team, but they really are well known for that Wisp Chaos Knight combination, and for Hardy's really spectacular plays. But Fnatic definitely have a lot of options here. Meanwhile, Baguette probably going to put Magnus in the off lane, and it's going to be pretty difficult to kill him, but Magnus also, it's difficult for him to get as much experience with the skewer nerf, and Fnatic gonna just pick up the Undying along with the Templar's S and giving them a solid mid lane position. So Baguette, we'll see if they counter with something like Queen of Pain or Puck or some other heroes that can beat TA, because TA still very powerful, but has definitely seen better days.
Yeah, I mean, still, like you said, still extremely powerful, but people have started figuring out how to tear her down. We started seeing even stuff like Darkseer mid to use that Ion Shell to harass her down, and
Axeman.
uh,
Axeman was
yeah, even
employed.
Axe mid, that battle hunger, tearing through those refraction charges like crazy. Um, she hasn't been the absolute dominant uh, solo mid hero lately, but still very powerful. Great tempo setter. I mean, with that side trap, and once you get a blink dagger, you're able to just essentially be everywhere, um, and there is no escaping you. And then the Undying, fantastic lane bully. I mean, he's going to just constantly decay you and just slap you with those zombie hands, and he's so durable that as long as he doesn't like overcommit or anything, you really won't be able to take him down with that a huge resource commitment.
Yeah, Undying most likely will be the child, and looks like Baguette gonna pick up the Keeper of the Light. Definitely probably one of the best support heroes right now at the moment. Can fuel, can recall your carry from across the map, can just do it all except stun, unless you get that mana leak proc. But hey, who needs stuns anyway when you got that ridiculous range? One thing I do want to comment on the Undying is that I feel like he's a little bit overrated right now, and especially against Magnus, because Magnus' big problem now with the Skewer nerf is that it's only 600 range, but Undying doesn't really have a natural stun, so they're going to have to pick up a carry with a stun or have a support with a really long range. Otherwise, Undying won't really be able to keep Magnus, even with a pretty competent support, unless he has a very capable carry that can really keep Magnus back. So I feel like Magnus against an Undying Chine will be able to get enough experience even if he won't get necessarily too much farm. But Baguette gonna pick up the Lone Druid. I think this is probably gonna be against TA. They could still do Magnus against TA, but Lone Druid fares pretty well against TA. 2 attacks to 1, and if he ever gets entangled, then that pretty much instant. That's almost instant death for TA unless she gets that melt off.
Yeah, I mean, again, Lone Druid mid started popping up. I mean, it was a thing for quite a while that you would see randomly, but uh, lately it's been a fairly popular thing. I mean, you get him some good farm that way, and it just allows you to pressure really hard, especially against some of these softer solo mids. Um, Heroes like the Queen of Pain that rely on that mobility. You get an entangle and you're pretty much a guaranteed kill, and then you're able to instantly tear down that mid tower.
Yep, Fnatic probably picking up the best ganking support. One of those heroes who does work well with an Undying Shrine with the help of Disruption and Soul Catcher. Although he can't really get too many kills until he hits that level 2. But, I mean, Shadow Demon will get level 2. It's just going to be a matter of time. So, Baguette, they have their mid soul, they have their off lane, and they have their support in the Shrine. So I expect Fnatic to ban out heroes like Phantom Lancer, unless they want to go for a tiny surprise pick because Tiny just destroys Phantom Lancer. But Fnatic probably going to ban out something like the Phantom Lancer, and so it doesn't work with the Keeper Light. Maybe even Sven, so you don't get that Sven Magnus Keeper Light combination, even though he's starting to falling off a bit. Meanwhile, Baguette gonna ban out Leshrac. Not too sure why, but they are.
I mean, I guess they could have done an Undying offlane, and then you can do Shadow Demon Leshrac, and the Disruption does set up the Split Earth decently well. But I wouldn't imagine doing that. Like, if they're going to pick up an offlane, I would figure even like a Beastmaster or a Bounty Hunter. You know, one Undying, he can last in that offlane, but it's not where he's best.
Yep, meanwhile Baguette gonna ban out the Lifesteal as well, so there's a carry that synergizes very well with Shadow Demon, Soul Catcher, Undying, and is overall just a pain in the ass to fight against. Ridiculously difficult to deal with unless you have Ghost Scepters, unless you can cut them around, but they have two heroes who are going to be in the melee form for the most part. Lone Druid eventually will go into that melee form. Meanwhile, Fnatic gonna ban out the Tinker as well, so again, just eliminating. I mean, I guess they might have thought that Lone Druid would be in the safe one with Keep the Light support, so they're banning potential offlane heroes as well. Baguette's lineup, if you look at it, is pretty versatile, but I think at this point, I still think that Lone Druid will go into the mid lane.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine he'd be in the safe lane, because generally if you're pairing somebody with a Keeper of the Light, you want something like a Sven or a Phantom Lancer, someone who's got a respectable nuke that either slows or stuns. because then you can constantly feed them mana and constantly use that to harass and even CS. Like eventually, when you get with someone like a Sven, you get level 3 or 4 Stormhammer, and you're able to just like hit each creep once, and that's an entire wave you've picked up. And if you're constantly getting fed mana, that'll constantly be going out. The bounty hunter has kind of a, hinting that they'll need an offlane, and then the Phantom Lancers to prevent that Keeper of the Light synergy.
Yeah, as there's the Fanlets. I was going to say that maybe Fnatic are just leaving Fanlets in the pool so they have some sort of plan to deal with it, but they probably don't want to reveal that strategy so early on in the tournament, especially when they're 5-0, so this game probably doesn't mean too much to Fnatic. They most likely will move on into the winner's bracket phase of the Defense 3, but they are just going to bat the Phantom Lancer altogether, so that strategy might be safe for another day. Or maybe they just said, alright, we're just not going to give it up. But Baguette gonna take a little bit of time, not too much time left in their drafting pool, really thinking hard about how to deal with Fnatic. And Baguette probably gonna pick up their hard carry here, I imagine, unless they get their other trial support. Jakiro stuff in the pool, and they could go for jungle presence as well, but other than that, I think hard carry might be the better option here. Oh, no.
Hmm, I guess the
So it's gonna be a safe lane lone druid.
yeah, safe lane lone druid and either Magnus or Windrunner in the mid lane, and the other one will be off. And then I guess they just need their last tri-lane support or a jungler.
So Windrunner is pretty good against Undying Shadowdune. Better than Magnus, I feel like, because she can escape a bit further and has that innate range to deal with that potential tri-lane. Meanwhile, Invoker is going to be picked up for Hani by Fnatic. We haven't seen Invoker in a while because he kind of sucks these days. He just needs too much experience, and he just needs to stay in line for too long, and his lane harassment is definitely not what it used to be. But against a Magnus solo mid, won't really be pressured too hard, I imagine.
No, I imagine he'll do all right. And kind of like you said, the base damage nerfs that he received a couple, like 3 months back, I think at this point, hurt him pretty heavily. And now you pretty much have to go exhort just to be able to get that last hitting down. And if you don't have that quas, you can get harassed very, very hard. Now, another surprise. Oh my lord!
There we go. There we go.
I am done with this game.
There we go. Fnatic saying, we're 5-0. What have we got to lose? We're going to go with Meepo. Just say, let's have some fun. And they're going to do an aggressive challenge because it's probably going to be TA mid, Invoker safe lane. So aggressive challenge, Undying Meepo combination. How will Baguette deal with this? I am honestly not too sure.
I will say this. I don't know if you've been checking out Notail's Twitch stream.
I have
but
not.
He's been playing almost nothing but Meepo. He has been practicing this to no end.
And just looking at the lineup, they don't really have too much burst. I mean, if you get reverse flurry, if you're any hero, you're pretty much dead anyway. But Baguette really doesn't have too much burst that can really hurt down the Meepo. So if there ever was a lineup to pick up Meepo, this is a pretty good lineup. So we're gonna get into this game, introduce the players and teams as there is a pause. Baguette, Voja saying them Meepo. Just toying around a bit. Baguette probably relishing their spot defensively, playing against very top tier teams and doing quite well for themselves. But I'll go over Baguette, you go over Fnatic. We're gonna have Fly playing. Oh crap! Voja playing the Windrunner, Pazdo playing the Magnus, Marsu playing the Weaver, Slave playing the Lone Druid, and Hugo playing the Keeper of the Light.
And then over on the Fnatic side, we've got Fly, my Duckling, on Shadow Demon. Notail playing that lovable Meepo. Era playing the Undying.
Dude, that Meepo is dapper as heck. Holy shit.
Trixie playing the Templar Assassin, and Hani on the Invoker. And does he have the...
Yeah, he has the badass
yes.
Gentleman's Meepo set. He is dapper as all sorts. I mean, the only thing that could be classier... I mean... I can't really think of a hero that's classier than Meepo with that costume on. Can you? I mean...
I don't know.
Like, I guess Ursa with, like, a top hat would be pretty cool.
Yeah, or maybe, like, Invoker in, like, a pinstripe suit.
Nah, fuck Invoker. I hate that guy. Too much of a jerk. But we are not actually going to see an aggressive challenge, as I thought we might see, because they did have Undying and a Meepo combination. And we had an Invoker, but looks like Trixie might go out to the hard lane, might just be scouting out If Trixie finds the lanes too hard, might just switch around. But I guess they want to get Meepo as much farm as possible. But didn't really expect the Templar Assassin offlane if that was what Trixie's actually going for. And Trixie's going to be hard pressed. Templar Assassin wants to get mid early game levels and really wants to get that snowball rolling, but won't really be able to do that good of a job. She's not like a bounty hunter. She can't move around while she's in Viz.
Yeah, it's not like a bounty hunter where you can move around, and it's not like a Beastmaster or a Magnus where you have that innate tankiness, and in the case of Magnus, you have that escape ability. I mean, refraction definitely helps you avoid a little bit of harass, but you don't have a natural escape mechanism, and she only has 500 health. So I don't know how this will go, but I mean, I'm gonna trust with Fnatic in the very least, like you had mentioned, they're 5-0. They can go ahead and just do whatever they want with this game.
Yep, you want Baguette 2-2. Definitely want to try to get into at least the lower bracket. I think they're probably fourth or fifth seed at this point, and if they're fifth seed, they're out of the tournament after the group stages are over. But all other lane predictions were completely off, as Weaver is going to be in the off lane, and Invoker is not going to be safe lane. He's going to be mid lane. But we're going to see dual lanes by Fnatic. Interesting. Era going to be supporting that Trixie on the top lane, and it's going to be pretty difficult to kill. Windrunner wants the levels, and Keeper Light really can't do too much without some Lunate stacks. Undying can definitely keep the harassment going. It's going to really be up to Lone Druid to get that harassment, but he also has to focus on last hitting, so really interesting lanes, but it seems to make sense in a sort of funky, non-traditional way.
Yeah, I mean it's a little bit weird to look at, but it'll work. Like you can see kind of where the logic behind it is. Like you had said, the one thing that they have going for them is outside of a shackle, they don't really have anything to lock down. And a lucky entangle. So
Oh, Neck gonna go on the bottom lane. Looks like Mars is in a bit of trouble. Got disruption, and there was a Sentry to spot him out. One more hit. Can Marsu escape? He's gonna sell up. He's gonna be okay. Sorry to cut you off there, man.
No worries, no worries. I mean, and that's actually a pretty dangerous combo, and I'm surprised we didn't see a poof attempt there at the same time.
I think he just hit level 2.
Okay, that was probably it then. Because I mean, one poof and that would have been like first blood. And now this Weaver is gonna have to be ultra scared.
Yeah, still has 5 tangos, so can play a bit more aggressively. Meanwhile, Shouting wants to get the levels up, is doing some stacking. Keep in mind, Meepo, one of those heroes that once he hits level 6 can just clear out creep plays super fast with the poof. As Weaver going to do a bit of harassment, just hurting down the Shouting rather than trying to go for creeps. Already level 2, but it's interesting to see Weaver not really focusing on farm. Weaver, one of those heroes who I feel is underrated, and that's where seeing a bit of a resurgence, but he definitely needs a lot of items to really get his mojo rolling.
Yeah, you definitely need to get that like that early Radiance or even an early Lincoln Sphere, just something that helps him. The Radiance helps him farm a bit faster, and then getting stuff like Lincolns and Heart just helps him last in team fights, allows him to soak up a bunch of damage, and then he can just time-lapse it all back. And then late game, you can pick up some more damage-oriented items. He's sort of like a lone druid in that regard, so it's a little bit interesting. They've got some people who both rely on Radiance and are both looking to just kind of
skewer on the mid lane for Hani as Baguette Pazto was invisible, as Hani is going to be ushered away. Is actually just going to put a second point into Quad, so no exort just yet. I would have thought against Weaver really wanted to get that invoke to get that stun strike going, but is just going to disregard that entirely. I mean, Era just being harassed. So far, the lanes for Fnatic not really working out as expected, but they did have kind of funky lanes. Trixie going to go back on defensive for Voja. Trixie will have to back off eventually. 2 versus 1 isn't really fair in any sense of the word. That song on Druid is really good.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the unfortunate thing. Like, if you've got a dual lane against a tri-lane, unless you catch them horribly out of position, you aren't going to be able to trade hits with them. Because both of the supports will just start fighting you back while their carry is farming whatever he wants. In the meantime, Marsu is getting chased all over the place.
He was trying to pull the creeps, but that disruption, very, very long cast range. You keep in mind Weaver's base movement speed, not too impressive. Only 5 difference, but really not too good. As again, Hani just put his first point to Exort. And why do you think he went for 2-2 rather than getting Exort at even level 3? As we sometimes see 1 Exort, 1 Quas, and then get 1 Invoke at level 3. But he just waited all the way to level 5. Did he really know there was not much action? Or did he just really want some lane pressure?
I think it was lane pressure and also just for the pure sake of survival against that constant shockwave spam. He knows he's going to be taking a lot of damage, so he wants that extra quas regen. And also, honestly,
Oh, stun strike snipe as a soul catcher disruption
oh,
net combination enough to clean up the Weaver. Nicely done as Hani now very happy that he put that point to invoke. Able to clean up the kill, able to get himself a first blood. And again, Weaver suffering quite a bit on that bottom lane, not getting farm, not getting too much experience, only level 2. So the cooldown Shikuchi actually is quite long, has 8-second cooldown once the Shikuchi expires. But we'll hit level 3 very, very soon, but just going to play it very safe. But so far, Baguette not having too much fun on the bottom lane, but I imagine in their other lanes they're feeling pretty good.
yeah, I mean, Voja did take a bunch of damage. He's salving up right now, but it's one of those, okay, that's kind of the purpose of the offlane. We expect you to take a bit of pain and, maybe die once or twice. As long as you can get yourself some levels and a little bit of farm, you're doing all right. I would say they're winning their other lanes. I mean, looking at last hits.
Oh, Illuminate and one last power shot gonna
Oh,
finish off Trixie in a blink of an eye. A lot of burst damage coming in from there. And so the top lane's pretty much gone by Fnatic again. Templar Assassin really just not having too much fun off lane. Did manage to get boots, but again, not really able to keep the Lone Druid down. Fortunately for them, well, Lone Druid actually is keeping up with Hani, but not really keeping up with the Meepo who can farm a bit faster and is not really under as much pressure.
yeah, and I mean, that's one of the unfortunate things about the Templar Assassin. When you don't have that refraction, you are actually fairly squishy.
As we might
Um,
see again very, very soon. Looks like there might be an assault attempt. Now just gonna burn through all those refraction charges. 4 attacks means that refraction charge will just go down in a flash. Meanwhile, Marsu has hit level 4, so has that second point. Shikuchi gonna guard the regen rune. But so far for Fnatic, looking pretty good. But also, I mean, Lone Druid's farming. But now Meepo is going to start to get his mojo rolling. You can see a couple of stacks being placed all across the map, or actually just in one spot by the Shadow Demon, who I'm a bit surprised he didn't stack a bit more, but really want to keep close to apply pressure on the Weaver, which makes a lot of sense.
yeah, it's one of those, like, unfortunately, if you had a tri-lane, then maybe you'd be able to have somebody roaming around dedicated to pretty much purely to stacking and pulling and all that fun stuff. But running a pair of dual lanes, you still need that support to help protect your carry. Completely unrelated to this, I have to say Baguette has the best flags I've ever seen.
Best flags?
Yeah.
1 second. If I miss a kill, I'm blaming this all on you. So
Sorry.
no, I'm gonna focus back to the action. Don't want to miss that kill, as Refraction is gonna use it. All right, nothing's happening. Where are the flags? Where are the flags? Oh, it's a little. Is that le
It's a little
petit?
Frenchman.
Is that le petit prince?
Yes.
Yeah, that French knowledge, too good. Oh yeah, you're Canadian, right? But you're
Yeah.
Calgary, so I don't know if you're not Quebec.
I am fluent in French, but
Dang, too good, too good. Gonna get that multicultural. If there's a big tournament in France, then you guys know who to call. Me, because I know how to speak French a little bit too. But yeah, lane's going on pretty well. Fraction just gonna dodge that eliminate altogether. Really surprised that Keeper the Light.
interesting. Invoker went for treads. I mean, normally you do see that, especially now. You see those phase boots just because he needs that raw attack damage, but he is keeping them on intelligence, so he's getting a bit of attack damage, and it just strikes me as a bit of a quirky, and again, relying mostly for that survivability.
Well, Cold Snap's gonna go down, but Reverse Polarity is gonna go down as well. Agnes is completely out of mana. Honey's gonna drop a Sunstrike, gonna catch Pasto on just a tip, but Keeper the Light was there to support. Nice roaming by Hugo, well timed, able to clean up Honey. But Exort Invokers sometimes go for treads, but that's the only case where you see treads ever picked up by Invokers, only if they're Exort, as the Shockwave is going to scatter Trixie. Trixie with a double danger, not yet level 6, so can't really keep up with Hugo's Mence Rhino Mantar body. Meanwhile, Shackle going to go down to Era, hoping for an Entangle. Unfortunately, no Entangle was given that day. But so far, Fnatic not really having the best of times, losing top lane, losing
Well,
mid lane, and Weaver,
to
he's
be
surviving.
to be fair, Notail is level 8 with Tranquils and like 1,500 gold saved up already. He is farming decently well. Like, not the craziest I've ever seen, but
Oh
what's
no,
his name?
Marsu! They bait at the Shikuchi.
Oh,
Here comes the Sunstrike. Poof! in the blink of an eye. If you blinked, you missed it. Meepo with the poof as Hani probably trying to get the kiss, but get some residual damage in there anyway. And Meepo, like you said, Notail, this is why he lost his hero. Just having a grand old time on that bottom lane. But the interesting thing about Meepo is that he is getting very far ahead, but he really needs to remain far ahead. Because Meepo is really sort of a frustrating hero in that even if you sort of are very skillful with him, you can't really just take over the game unless you're really far ahead. If you get that Aghanims where you just have stats transferred, he's not really a good hero. Where that if you are very skillful, you'll get really rewarded. You just really need to be ahead.
Yeah, yeah. It's not like a lone druid where having that really good micro, or like a Chen having really good micro will reward you with great team fights and good ganks or anything like that. It's good micro rewards you with staying alive, and that's all that it does. And as soon as you drop that ball and fall behind, then all you are is a walking bounty. Um, because
Oh,
you're just gonna get blown up by AoE, and we are gonna see a roam down on him. He's gonna poof away from that, thankfully, and we're gonna see some TP response.
nice Sunstrike flying in. Look at Pazdo is going to get the reverse, so he's going to have to back the heck out before he gets smacked the heck up. But Windrunner is going to do a bit of harassing. They did use reverse and did not pick up any kills. So overall, Fnatic probably pretty happy with that exchange. And Meow and Dying did teleport to the bottom lane. They do have 3 people there. But keep in mind, Lundred is farming up all the while. But there are some big stacks for Meepo to start getting those spoof going once it gets going. And what do you think his item order will be? Will it be Mecha Vlad, Blink, Ag, or will we get Ag a bit sooner?
Um, I kind of want to say with the changes to Aghanims, it's got a bit more strength behind it. Ironically, because you end up with more strength from the item itself. So it gives that bit more priority, but at the same time, that blink is so powerful on him. So I mean, he is pooling up a large chunk of gold. We'll have to see if he just rushes a very fast blink, just to be able to do those huge poof bombs. And we're seeing a bit of cheeky play out of Voja there, stealing a little bit of that stack with a power shot. But I mean, it'll be the easiest to tell when he gets this next like 300 gold. If he goes beyond that like 2k, like 2100 gold limit, then I'd say he's probably going for a very fast Aghanims, like Vlad's into Aghanims or something like that. And there he has a point booster, and he's already picked up the Ogre Club, so he's definitely going for an extremely fast Aghanims, just to give all of his clones that little bit of extra health.
Look at Pasto. Hani can't see him. Oh man, but did reveal himself. So Hani, don't really know how he revealed himself. I guess just want to get a bit of harassment before he runs back to the offlane. But yeah, usually Meepo, I think it's usually the mechanism Blink Dagger, and really just pub Meepos go for Vlad's. Pro Meepos just allow one of the supports to get Vlad. So Pro Meepos always get mechanism first. But like you said, and keep in mind, the sooner he gets that extra clone, the sooner he can farm faster, the sooner he can make a huge impact, and the sooner he can just sort of survive all these engagements with those 100% stat bonus. It's just so good.
Well, and I mean, it's not only that, but I think it's also that you consider the fact that his clones at the moment only have like 900 health. You get RP'd and like shockwaved, and that's almost a dead clone. Like, that's a huge chunk of damage. Then you get skewered. You're not really going to be walking away from that. So I think it's that he can start contributing to fights and actually do something. Not only, and again, also he gets that extra clone, allows him to go farm somewhere else, even to go to another lane, or just farm 2 stacks at once. So it'll be interesting to see where exactly he takes this. I mean, unfortunately, the rest of his team isn't doing all that great. I mean, you look, Undying's got a...
Well, Hani's, doing what Invokers should do, which is never leave his lane ever, and he's already level 10, so I think Hani's overall decent, or okay with the situation. Trixie, definitely probably flaming his team a bit, like, why are you putting me in this position, guys? But other than that, I mean, Pazito is just continuously roaming, trying to catch the Meepo out of position, and there's no real rating ward spotting it out, as I think it was all dewarded, but just the map awareness by Fnatic just seems to know when the games are going to come in. Actually, Fly might be in a bit of a sticky situation. No, just has that spider sense to say, alright, I'm going to get the heck out of there. Actually, there's only one radiant ward up, which is a lane ward, but other than that, they couldn't really see the roam of the Magnus. But since Magnus is roaming so heavily, always got to be on the lookout for that.
And I think it's just Yeah, they're reading the fact that he's already been very, very active all over the map. So if he's not on, if you can't see him, he's probably roaming somewhere, and they're definitely committing a lot already to try and take down this Meepo. So again, he's probably coming down to the bottom lane. It's just one of those intuitive things that you like with the experience you have, like the team with a team like Fnatic, you end up just putting two and two together and going, ah, he's probably coming down here. We should probably get away.
Yep, meanwhile, Meepo only about 80 gold from finishing the Aghanim, so then he'll have pretty much 4 Meepos at level 11, which is pretty ridiculous when you think about it. 14 minutes of the game, 4 Meepos. My god, that is super scary. As here comes the disruption onto Weaver Soulcatcher, going to be dropped as well, but no detection, just going to harass Marzu out a bit. Interestingly enough, Marzu hasn't abandoned his place. I think if I were Baguette, I'd try to switch him to the mid lane and try to get him some farm, but otherwise he's just going to be pretty irrelevant once late game comes in if the pace continues like this.
Yeah, I agree. Like, if you're gonna have your Magnus roaming this much, might as well throw Weaver in a lane that he's going to at least be able to get some farm and last hits and levels, because at the moment he's not getting a whole lot. And I mean, your mid lane is essentially going to waste. You've got Keeper of the Light going out there, throwing the odd Illuminate, but other than that, you're really not doing anything here. And we're gonna see a push onto this bottom tier 1, and instead we're just gonna see a poof out. Oh, and they're actually gonna catch out Pasto.
Oh, meanwhile, I missed that kill. Yeah, Meepo did pick up a kill as Lone True trying to escape. One more trap. Is it going to be used? No, just going to slow down the bear as the true form is going to escape, but that's going to be 100 gold going to be wasted. No, he resummons a bear. Nicely done. Lone Druid, how much gold do you have? You went for the Midas and a cloak as well, really trying to tank up. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, Windrunner picks up a kill, so it looks like Baguette trying to get some action going on this bottom lane. Illuminate going to fly in, Era's going to get shackled right to a tree, and here comes a power shot. One more hit. Weaver does pick up the last hit. Nice timing by Baguette to secure Weaver that kill. He definitely needed it. And this bottom lane going to be under a lot of pressure. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Hani has those double forward spirits up. Pazdo going to get cold snap, going to try to escape. Does have the skewer to get out if he really needs to. Should be okay. And he is going to okay. But meanwhile, Lone Druid under a lot of pressure as well. So this is going to be a tower trade. Actually, it might be 2 towers for 1 for Fnatic. Nice timing.
Oh, and Voja actually gets caught in a net and poof bombed. Windrun mostly wasted there, but one of the Meepos does. Oh, and another net. And that is a dead Windrunner.
Oh, Lone Druid, where are you running to? You're being earthbound, son, as looks like not the game. It's just gonna be the right clicks of... No, Geostrike. Earthbind. Alright, I got it right. I was just trying to think to myself, what was the name of the passive? But yeah, did get bound in place by those nets securing him. So, Fnatic gonna pick up 1 tower, but overall tower trade, but they did lose Lone Druid, who was pretty high leveled, so that's gonna be unfortunate for Baguette. As you can see, they're getting pretty heavily outfarmed.
Yeah, like, and that's also one of the strengths of Meepo is being able to kind of spread and conquer and just do whatever you want. Like, you carry a TP scroll on one of your Meepos, like on your main Meepo, and you can be anywhere because you have the other Meepos spread around, and you can just poof and instantly be in the action.
Yeah, if any of you are wondering the experience mechanic, if one Meepo is in lane, another Meepo is sort of away from him getting experience, I think it's like a 50% experience boost or something like that, maybe 25%. Overall, you get more experience if your clones are spread further apart, as you see Notail doing very, very adeptly, which is why he has one Meepo farming the woods in the Dire, and also trying to secure the lane, and also just being on the lookout, and the other clones are farming different lanes, so he's getting more experience, which you can see that leads to him being level 14, 18 minutes in the game. Pretty ridiculous. And he's actually going to pick up a kill on Lone Druid as he just jumps in. Voja going to be in a lot of trouble. Finally casts a wind run, but you cannot run. You cannot hide because you are going to die. Notail on a roll.
With a good Meepo player, if you get caught by one Earthbound, he is going to... you're never going to be able to leave. You're just going to constantly get bound and then poofed on. There we see the Blink Dagger already picked up, so we're going to see some huge poof initiations now as well.
And actually, Trixie did waste the Ghost Scepter, so Meepo is going to kill the Keeper Life. Trixie does trade his life so that Notail will pick up the kill. Reverse Polarity going to catch out one Meepo. Looks like the poof is going to poof out one. Can he get the second poof out? Nicely done. Not enough chain stuns as the Meepos are able to escape. Gonna mean that Fly dies, but I mean, he's a Shaolin. He expects this. He didn't. I mean, he knew what he was signing up for, as he is going to die right there.
gives his life for the greater good.
Yep. Meanwhile, Hani gonna roam back in. Is level 12 has 3 points in Invoke. Looks like he's gonna go for Yules. As Meteor gonna be dropped. Gonna miss everything. Well played.
The hypest of plays. But I mean, it is a Weaver. It's a little difficult to catch him out. I mean, even if he did get caught in that deafening blast, he would have quickly Sakuchi'd and snuck away.
Yeah. As Trixie, again, although not having the best time, was able to pick up his farm. You can see 69 last hits, and with the help of 2 towers, able to pick up that Blink Dagger, but wasn't really expecting Keeper Light such an early Ghost Scepter, so really nicely done. And Ghost Scepter is probably going to be the name of the game for Baguette. If they can secure a bunch of Ghost Scepters, they should be okay from a lot of Meepo shenanigans. Of course, Poof does do ridiculous amount of magical damage, but as he sort of go on to the game, it becomes less and less effective as Meepo, again, so difficult to track, able to clean up Windrunner on the bottom lane. I decided to keep my eye out just on Meepo, because he's getting kills around the map and I'm missing a couple of them.
Well, and it's so difficult to cast a Meepo game, first of all, because who the hell picks
Oh, meanwhile, and then the jungle, the mighty jungle Undying is gonna reign tonight. Weaver's gonna come back in. Here comes the Blink Strike Assault, trying to get those Earthbinds out. The net's just a little outside the cast range. Undying trying to slow down the Assault. Hani's gonna rotate in as well. Can they pick up another kill? Another Earthbind. There's a hold Lone Druid in place. Poof's gonna immediately reinforce as Lone Druid's gonna be slowed by 80%. Actually, it stacks because of the 5 Meepos. Ridiculous amount. 5 Meepos all up in your grill. What are you gonna do about that? You ain't gonna do nothing. Reverse gonna catch out all 5 Meepos. Can they escape? You cannot run. You cannot hide. Notail is here. And he is gonna kill everything.
Oh my lord. This is not a game I should have cast.
He dies to the creeps. He dies to the creeps. Oh my god, that sucks. Because Weaver was able to do a bit of residual damage, but Fly gonna angrily buy back, trying to get back in the middle of things. Because again, Meepo, because he's so high level, so early on, you're gonna just spend way too long in the death timer. So that's really unfortunate if you really want to keep the other team down.
Oh my, he is 18. He is level 8. Windrunner is 8. Like, he is more than doubling some of these heroes' levels. This is, like, again, I am done with this game. Why did you ask me to cast this game when I'm recovering from a sickness? Because all it's making is it's making me laugh.
You gotta persevere through the pain. Gotta fight through the power as again the Meepo Assault Train gonna say choo choo, what's up? I'm helping the girl Ghost Scepter again. Getting Meepo benefits. Notail gonna try to teleport out. Will that one low Meepo escape? He did already survive. Shockwave gonna come in. No Meepo for 75 seconds. Blightwind can finally thank his lucky stars. Can finally regain some of his breath and some of his composure. As Meepo gonna be out of action for a full minute.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess that he just bought those to do treads into maybe, and then use the parts of the Tranquils for a Vlad's. That would be my guess.
Yeah, maybe. As again, more action going down all across the map. Hani gonna Ghost Walked away. No detection. Interestingly enough, there's a couple Invis heroes, but Baguette not eager to engage that. But again, Meepo being such a high level 19, 22 minutes in the game means that he has a ridiculously long respawn time, but here is Aghanim, so his scaling isn't going to be as atrocious as it might be. Usually Meepos, before the Aghanims buff happened, they started to fall out at the like 22-25 minute mark, but this Meepo probably going to remain relevant pretty much for the whole game, or at least until the 35-40 minute mark.
Yeah, I'm curious if he'll go for a lot of utility items like you had mentioned, the mech, or if he'll end up going for like a big...
Oh, Era gonna take a huge amount of damage. Nice skill to reverse. Hani might be the next one to die. Gonna force staff himself. Weaver picks up a killing spree, so Weaver, despite not having the best game, here comes Notail, gonna blink into everybody, trying to pick up Podstone. Nice blend, gonna slow down the assault, spreading out the damage, allowing Magnus to survive a bit longer, get a shockwave going. Lone Druid has come to join the party, but it might be a party that he will not enjoy. As we were trying to run, trying to hide, gonna time lapse out. The net keeps him in place. Notail gonna blink back in onto the Weaver. Poofs abound, but another shackle shot. These winner and shackle shots have been getting the job done. If Notail dies here, that's gonna be so bad for Notail. Gonna be out of the picture again for another 75 seconds. Not gonna be able to pick up his items. Weaver somehow managed to pick up mega kill spree, as this is what Weaver does. He just survives when nobody else can, and he is getting Fnatic fits.
Yeah, I mean, I think Notail needs to just chill out a little bit. Blink, even as a super farmed Meepo, blinking into, 4 heroes is a little reckless, especially when the rest of your team has already decided, hey, we're going to back out here because we've, taken reverse polarities and shockwave spams. And I think he just needs to go back to what he was doing before, stack up the map, kind of spread out, farm himself up, regain that huge item lead that he has now lost, semi-lost. And I think he should go for some big stat-heavy item like a heart or even like a butterfly, just for kind of jokes and a good chunk of damage.
Or even a mech. No mech yep, up for Fnatic. I thought Undying might have went for it, but he is going for, looks like, naked point booster. Might go for a later game Aghanims. But just try to tank up, but no mech. And Meepo really, really loves that mechanism.
Yeah, I mean, again, Undying has been a very popular mech carrier because you want him to be that big, tanky, frontline tank. You want him to get like a mech and a pipe, and even then later on like a bloodstone, and you just have him turn on that ulti and walk into the middle of the team and just not care. Just be a big old scary zombie man who takes everything in the face for you. So we'll have to see. I mean, we do see the Ring of Regen. That will be for the Vlads. I mean, I imagine the rest of it's sitting on the courier, or he just got rid of the treads pieces, or he just has nothing from his tranquils.
No, he finished the treads.
I'm sorry, the bits from his tranquils.
Oh, he's just holding on to that Ring of Regen. Probably sold the Ring of Protection, I imagine. Not really that expensive.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Lone Druid gonna have the ratings up right about now. Pretty late ratings, but I mean, you can't really blame him. He's under so much pressure.
Yeah.
Pretty ridiculous amount of pressure being applied.
You consider this Windrunner still doesn't have her Force Staff, no mech out for the Keeper of the Light yet. So, I mean, it's not like Notail has completely thrown away his lead. It's just he's been, I think, having a little bit too much fun. And I understand why. I mean, when you're able to just jump on anyone you want and poof, like literally they poof, they're gone, you start giggling to yourself and chuckling a bit, and you start getting carried away. He just needs to kind of scale himself back and get back to that point where he can just start doing whatever he wants again.
Meanwhile, there might be a gank attempt for Hani as Weaver is going to come in. Hani does have the Force Staff and the Yules, has a couple escape mechanism. Gonna pop the Ghost Walk. Do they have detection? No, they do not. As interesting, looks like they just wanted to get Hani out of the lane for a bit. Understandable. And will there be a rotation to the mid lane tier 2? Illuminate starting to come into play. Again, Ghost Scepter on the Keeper of the Light. Gonna go for the mechanism. Weaver just going all out tank. Probably the best build at this point. But still, I always love me a Weaver with some damage.
Yeah, it's always fun to see like a Weaver pick up a Daedalus or something like that. But again, like you said, this is probably the smart play. Try and get yourself tanky. I like that at least so far he seems to have skipped the blink out attempt by Trixie that ends up with him getting shackled.
Yep.
But we'll have to see if he ends up going for the Radiance. Again, it's really a late Radiance, or if he just goes for
well, the Barry already has the Radiance, so I imagine he'll probably just go for maybe Manta? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe like Heart and Manta, and then use that Vitality booster for Heart. And again, it's a little ambiguous as to what... Meepo is one of those strange heroes that just having him in the game basically throws every standard item build out the window. Just whatever you want, go for it.
Yep, but meanwhile, Magnus has Blink Dagger and Blade Mail. I like the items that Baguette are picking up. Ghost Scepters, Blade Mails, definitely good items up against Meepo. And even in Hani, if he gets that Meteor damage reflected back at him, gonna hurt quite a bit if Trixie gets a Meld Strike reflected back at him. If Refraction's not on, Blade Mail is probably the item to go if you're Baguette in this game. Because really not gonna, other than TA, nobody on Fnatic probably gonna get BKB in this game.
Yeah, I don't imagine so. I mean, TA is actually going for a fast Desolator now, too.
Oh, Hani gonna blink in with the Sunstrike. Yules trying to kill off Hugo. Hugo is gonna pop the Ghost Scepter. Nice shackle shot holding Trixie in place. Dust is gonna be used. Trixie once again flaming his team, probably in my mind, probably not actually flaming his team, but saying, why did you guys abandon me? As he's gonna try to escape. Unfortunately, you can't run. You can't hide from the Magnus and the Weaver combination. Too good as Baguette with some nice composure. 13 to 14, and actually, if you look at the golden experience graph, starting to taper out. 5K gold lead, 6K experience lead. But other than that, considering there's a Meepo who's so far ahead, you'd expect the gold graph to be a bit more biased in favor of Fnatic. But Baguette doing a nice job keeping up in this game.
Well, and I think the bigger thing to look at is you look at one point it was at about that 11K in experience mark, and creeping up on like 8K for gold. So that shows more so what's been happening is that, yeah, Baguette has really brought it together, and I think a little bit of shenanigans from Fnatic. I think they really need to just kind of group up as 5, maybe have, Notail with his other Meepos farming up a little bit. Just group up as 5 and go. Just have a rumble as a team fight. You're decently ahead. So that way you can at least take like a tier 2 or something like that. Because this all spread out and get picked off like 1 or 2 shit ain't working.
Yep, looks like Notail gonna go for the heart. Keep in mind, Agnum's transfers 100% of the stats now, so Meepo is gonna be super tank once he gets that heart. They're gonna skewer that illusion. Man, that illusion's gonna get it. Actually, you can funnel trick. You can poof onto your Meepo illusions if you ever get an illusion rune. Although you can't poof them, because that would be a little bit too ridiculous. But just funnel trick. At least you could do that in Dota 1. Not too sure if you can do that in Dota 2.
Yeah, they still are. They count as a Meepo. That's like really all it requires is that it be a Meepo clone.
Yeah, but you can kill them at least. But you can poof on them, so it's a pretty nifty little trick if you guys ever pick up an illusion. Even if you become Mantis on Meepo, for whatever godforsaken reason you decide to go Mantis on Meepo, you can do that as well.
Or you play Meepo for whatever godforsaken reason.
It's so hard playing Meepo because, again, it's like one of those heroes, unless you're like in a full team stack where your other heroes are completely devoted around him, it's not like you're going to get rewarded for playing Meepo. It's just so annoying to play him, but Fnatic doing a nice job in this game, but trying to gain back some momentum. Looks like they're just going to farm up. And meanwhile, Hani going to go for the Agnum Scepter, going to have all those spells up relatively soon. Meanwhile, Baguette, not too sure what they're waiting for. It looks like they're just trying to wait for Fnatic to keep making mistakes, which seems like the best option considering Fnatic have made a couple mistakes, and Baguette have done a nice job capitalizing on them.
Yeah, for sure. And is this Magnus going for a 4 staff? Is that going to be a jokey thing we see?
Nah, dude. I mean, if you blink in, you get the skewer, and then you can do another 4 step, or you can blink in,
escape,
or you can blink in and then 4 step, and then skewer, and then you get to the range of the 4 step or the blink, and then you have 600 range left to your allies. I guess it's just to escape, because Meepo very annoying.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's what it's for. It's just to, in case you get Earthbound, be able to zip a little bit. But, and again, I'm not saying it's terrible item pickup. It's just not something we normally see on a Magnus. Empower is starting to do a lot of work, though. You put Empower on that bear, and that'll hit hard.
Yeah, definitely. You can see plus 96 from the Reigns, and Bear gonna go for that AC. Very standard Bear build. Meanwhile, Weaver did end up dying on that top lane to the Meepo, who apparently just changed on his nets. Keep in mind when you time-lapse, you're still stuck in a net, which is very annoying for Weaver. So, Meepo, best counter Weaver in the game. Always pick up Meepo when you're against Weaver, guys. Never, ever will go wrong.
Clear counter. In fact, they'll just GG as soon as the game starts.
Yes, Baguette, I don't know why they're still playing this game. They should have GG'd out a while ago. I guess just that just means Fnatic are just a bunch of scrubs that they're making it this close, clearly.
We do see the mech finally picked up on Undying, so he is just kind of sitting on a casual point booster for now, I imagine. It'll be for either like a late game Bloodstone or maybe an Agnum's. We'll have to see. I mean, Bloodstone is a pretty popular item on Undying because you end up getting so tanky and you get those stacks up, you just never ever die with that regen and resistance.
Yeah, literally Undying once he gets to that point. As that name is very suitable. As here comes the Smoke King. Interestingly enough, Radiant not placing too many aggressive wards. Only Meepo's really venturing out too far. So I guess they don't really want too many aggressive wards. But here comes the Smoke King. Trixie gonna not get that Radiance cancelled to have the refraction on. But here comes Voja trying to get the right angle for Shackle Shot. Voja's Shackle Shots have been pretty decent. But unfortunately, and I have a latch right there. But the first hit entangle. Again, Trixie just not having a good time in this game.
Now, you commented that there was no aggressive wards, but there's like one sentry from Fnatic on the map, and that's it.
Nah, dude. They have 2 centuries. God.
Oh, oh, my
Now.
mistake.
No. That just happened now, and now they finally placed a Roshan ward. But yeah, Fnatic not really too focused on getting vision. I guess it's because Meepo and Invoker are taking so much of the farm. No, Shad even has a healthy amount of gold as well.
Yeah.
Probably saving up for Ghost Scepter, I can imagine, but it's not like Fnatic supports are lacking in terms of gold.
Well, again, even if you're lacking for wards or something, ask the Meepo, who's now 25. He is level 25 when. Okay, at least everyone is double digits by the time he hit level 25. If someone was like level 9 or something, I would just hang up the Skype call and walk away at this point. Like,
Yo, net worth, Meepo, nice. Remember when Valve had like that patch fix saying, "All right, we fixed Meepo's net worth"? Looks like it hasn't been fixed just yet. Cause Meepo, I mean, it's always a sad tale when Shadow Demon is always like bottom of the pack, but Meepo is trying to join him as well. Actually, his net worth is probably like 20k, probably.
yeah, probably something around there. If we do
Yeah,
some
GPM is
fast math.
600. GPM is 600, so he has really good net worth. Meanwhile, Blightwind concentrating very, very hard trying to do some math. As stay in school, kids. And one day you too can do math like Blightwind.
Yeah, don't grow old.
Sunstrike, Meteor, Deafening Blast, gonna melt Marsuit, gonna time lapse it in the nick of time. Actually, would have been okay. Marsuit gonna go for that MKB. Pretty standard on Weavers these days. Wants that attack speed, wants that damage, but usually Daedalus is more fair than MKB these days, but really doesn't have the attack speed to really make it too relevant. Well, it's still relevant, but not as good as it would be. But here comes the gang gem up on Windrunner, gonna latch Hani in place, and Baguette gonna eat up Hani like they do their crusty bread. As that was terrible. I apologize, everybody. That was terrible.
I mean, it does look like they'll be able to take a tier 2 in exchange for that, so at least
They might take a Magnus as well. Blade Mail reverse,
Oh, wow.
he's gonna teleport out. No, he's just gonna skewer out. Well,
Yeah,
reverse
staff.
down. Yeah, 4-staff.
TPs and 4-staffs, and now he'll skewer maybe.
Oh, he never had a TP. I was lying to you guys. As,
I think it was just the Earthbound net that made it look like he was TPing.
yeah, with that reverse polarity animation. But Fnatic 15 to 15, and they haven't picked up any towers in a while. Meanwhile, there are Meepos hanging out with his friends. Gonna blink in, initiate onto the Lone Druid. If they kill the Lone Druid, he still has Aegis, but that bear gonna be will still be up. Lone Druid able to mechanism back up, but the bear is gonna die. Illuminate gonna fly back in. Finally, the bear does die. Magnus did end up dying as well. That reverse polarity cooldown did end up hurting that Magnus, but Weaver is gonna pick up kill Lone Druid because he respawns in range form, gonna die super fast, so Meepo ends up dying as well. Meepo does buy back, wants to get back into the battle. Undying does teleport away, as looks like I think that favored Fnatic a bit, but Weaver didn't die, so that's a bit unfortunate for Fnatic, because they killed Aegis, they killed 2 heroes, and Meepo has money to spend, but still, they didn't. Keep in mind they fought that fight without reverse.
Yeah. And actually they're gonna pick up Hugo, maybe? He's gonna go Scepter and just get Earthbound again and then die. So, oh, and Courier's just gonna get microed around, and unfortunately, we're not gonna see any, like, blink into 5 Meepo Courier.
I'd love to see
destruction.
Notail's APM on this, as he's just doing a fantastic job microing the Meepo's way, as Hani's gonna blink in so many blink daggers, as here comes a massive amount of engagement on to the face of Windrunner. She did not like that whatsoever. Meanwhile, Weaver runs himself right into an ice path. Where is Meepo? Where's Meepo? He's just claiming the tier 3 bottom tower. He's just sort of chilling out, saying, you guys can clean up the racks. Magnus does blink in. Did he get reverse off? I think he did. He did get reverse off, but unfortunately not able to get any kills other than the Undying. Notail's going to make his way back towards the engagement. Going to catch Voja in place. Voja trying to run, but just being slowed down by an immense amount. Gonna die as well. Lone Druid does respawn, but his bear's on cooldown for another 30 seconds. That means he's going to be fighting this without any items to his name. Keeper Leg going to take a bunch of poops right in the face. Can he run away? He is going to run. Meanwhile, Bear frantically trying to paw the Meepo, but can't actually do any damage because it's just the hero Bear without any items. And Meepo is going to teleport out to safety with those boots of travel. And Notail just...
Well, it looked like there was a bit of a communication breakdown for Baguette there, because Marsu was literally chasing Fly around the little bit of trees just by where the mid-tier 2 used to be. He was just like chasing him around, Ghost after disruption, trying to get Fly dead. In the meantime, Notail is killing everybody. So it seems like it was a bit of a communication breakdown. I don't know if he just didn't ignore his team or if they're, again, they didn't really communicate that, hey, please come kill this Meepo. But one thing that you did mention that I kind of would like to see, actually, is if, by the odd chance anyone from Valve is listening to this, put in an APM. Like, allow casters to be able to see the APM of people, because it would be an interesting thing to be able to see, like, Chen players versus Lone Druid players versus Meepo players versus, even, like, an anti-mage with his mantas, illusions. It would just be a nice thing to see.
Yeah, Valve probably already has that in mind. Valve think of everything because Valve are insanely godlike. But Meepo gonna have those treads and Boots of Child getting that additional stats and treads, but eventually is very well on his way towards that AC, and his buyback cooldown is gonna expire relatively shortly, so that buyback always gonna be a problem. And meanwhile, Baguette, you can see the cooldowns, whether it be the bear cooldown, whether it be the verse play cooldown, they just can't take as many fights as Fnatic can.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate thing there. They're very much a one and
Pasto
done.
gonna melt. No, can he run? No, just kidding. Meanwhile, Undying trying to escape from Marsu. Marsu does pick up the kill. Meanwhile, Trixie gonna try to go onto Marsu.
Oh.
Do they have a gem to detect? Where is Notail? Gonna hunt down the bear because Hani is just getting burned alive, roasted to a crisp. Gonna avenge Hani by killing this bear. No, bear too sly, too elusive. Can't get resummoned, unfortunately. Poor bear, poor guy.
Dyer's Courier does go down, and go ahead and have a look at... Oh, he sold it looks like.
What did he sell?
Or no, it's on the ground in the Radiant Fountain. Those belong to Era.
Yeah, Dagon. Notail is still on the warpath again with the Agnes buff. It seems like Meepo never just stops scaling. Meepo really strong with the Agnes buff. But again, you just need to get it early on, and then he just becomes like this, apparently, if you're good enough.
Yes. He has an Assault Cuirass finished, and he has enough to finish that Heart. He's most likely just saving a little bit for buybacks, then he can do these ridiculous shenanigans. And he's just going to eat that bear.
Yep, and again, the Spirit Bear is going to be on cooldown for another 80 seconds, so it's going to be 80 seconds where the Lone Druid hero has Ghost Scepter and a Cloak, so really not doing any damage, and that means Baguette really can't play very aggressive. They won't be able to contest this Roshan or this Aegis without that bear coming in, because they won't really have the requisite damage to really bring down an AC, a Heart Meepo, with a buyback in his bag.
And there we go, we see the Vitality Booster being picked up, so that's going to be a Heart finish for him as well. At this point, I guess, he does have both Boots of Travel and Treads, and he's been swapping them out so that his clones will get either the improved stats or the improved movement speed, depending on what he needs. Which is, again, awesome, hilarious, cheeky play.
You mean he's swapping the item slots?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't been seeing him do that. I thought he was just using Boots of Child to teleport back home, but if he's been doing that... Oh yeah, he has been doing that. God damn, Notail. You are good at this game. Holy crap. Kids, I mean, you will just never be as good as Notail will be, apparently.
Just give up now, because good message to all the viewers out there. Just give up.
I mean, could you do this for 43 minutes, like in your wildest dreams? I can do it for 2 minutes, or even 30 seconds.
Yeah. I mean, I guess maybe if you put me in a game by myself, I could probably do this, maybe for like a minute, but with everything else involved in an actual competitive game, no way. But
meanwhile, Notail gonna split push as his other Meepo is gonna teleport to the bomb barracks, gonna blade the siege, and you can see Baguette trying to scramble. And if they all get reverse bladed off on the Meepo, keep in mind, there are still 4 of the Fnatic heroes just left, all by them lonesome. So he's really has to force reverse blading onto most of the Fnatic roster, but still, it's just, how can you catch anybody? I mean, even Undying has the Aegis, so he's gonna be fine. And just the split push is unrelenting at this point.
Well, and we had commented earlier that, the Meepos only had like 900 health, so like a reverse polarity, a shockwave, and a Skiro is pretty much enough to take them down. The clones have 3,000 health now. Like, The clones have 2,900 health. That's
Oh, MKB is gonna break the poof animation. Notail is gonna die. There was like 4 consecutive MKB procs. So unfortunate for Notail. Oh my god, Notail gonna buy back, gonna teleport back in, as looks like Fnatic are gonna be a little bit on the back foot. No, they're just gonna back off. Notail gonna clean up the racks angrily. But if Baguette want to get themselves back in the game, try to get the forward side in defense, they have to kill Notail again and then just go all mid for the push. That is their only option. Unfortunately,
Aegis
Notail.
is burned on Era, and he has that Dagon.
Very important to note. As Meepo Fnatic just not going to let that happen because they are still 4 very strong heroes at this point. Hani, again, almost has that Hex up. So even if Notail could be killed, there's still 4 other Fnatic heroes to worry about, which is just really, really... How do you fight this at this point? It's just...
5 Dagon 5s.
You need like a Phantom Lancer. That's the only thing I can think about, like
Yeah.
Phantom Lancer.
Like a Phantom Lancer with a Radiance and like Diffusal and a full build. Or, like I said, 5 Dagon 5s. Just blow up a Meepo. Just blam!
Yes, indeed, as Magnus, did he get the reverse off of wrist? Was still on cooldown. Dagon gonna finish off Slave as he's gonna be in the fountain trying to resummon all his bear. Marcy good time lapse away, was stuck in that for a brief instant. Meepo able to clean up the bottom bricks, did get the mechanism healed by the Undying off, is gonna teleport back to safety. And now will he just rejoin his friends in the fountain? Just gonna poof out all his Meepos. Will the MK procs keep continuing? No, finally escapes from the wrath of Marsu as 2 racks have fallen and again.
Trixie did also take down the tier 3 up top, so they're going to be able to start working away. And again, they have to commit so much to taking down Notail that Trixie is able to run rampant. And will they... Oh, he's going to go down. They do take down the melee racks, but... Where did he... Oh, he's taking them for a trip. Allow me to give you a tour of your own base.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Notail. If you guys get that reference, then you guys are awesome.
I don't, so...
It's from a Jay-Z song.
Okay, that would be why I don't listen to Jay-Z, but there you go, the GG's called. Very, very, very GG at this point, like...
Thanks, Meepo, for carry. And actually, this is a legitimate strategy. I mean, I think the only thing Baguette could have done there is pick more bursty heroes, but really, this is a strategy that Fnatic can make work. It's not like Baguette played too badly in this game. I felt like they played overall pretty well.
Oh yeah, they definitely played well, and like you said, I mean, the biggest thing that hurt them is that the Meepo was the last pick. If he had been an earlier pick, then they would have been able to deal with it with, you know, being able to build an AoE-centric team.
Team name successfully changed to Notail RC. One man army game was nice. He got his Meepo. Both teams having a bit of fun. It was a really entertaining game to watch. But yeah, Baguette.
I imagine we'll never ever see them draft this again. Just, there you go, we let you play it, leave us alone.
Maybe
Although, like you
best
said,
of
it was
3.
a legitimate thing. It wasn't like a super clowny. It worked, and they had legitimate item builds up until the kind of the very end when they
And they
started,
beat
like,
a
stacking
team who
Dagon.
was fighting back. It's not like they stomped this team. If they stomped this team, then it gets out. It was probably the picks. But this is a legitimately fighting team. But just once the train got rolling, and once Hani and Trixie eventually became too powerful, then you really had to commit 3 heroes or 4 heroes to them. And Meepo, of course, is like at least 2 or 3 heroes by himself.
That was the biggest problem. It was, well, if you commit like the 3 heroes you need to take down Notail, then Trixie and Hani are gonna tear you apart. And if you commit everything you need to kill Trixie and Hani, then the Meepo is gonna tear you apart. So you couldn't actually deal with everything that was involved. And they just ended up spreading you too thin.
Yep, so looks like Fnatic gonna take the throne. Very well played by Baguette, as I think they're 2 and 3 in the 5 seed. Not too sure if there are any more matches in this group of the group stage. I think there will be, because I think Fnatic are 6 and 0, so that indicates that there's at least one more match for Baguette to try to move out of the group stages, which they've shown they can compete at the very least. So very nicely done by Baguette, but overall very entertaining game. And my co-casters in Blightwind, where can they find you, man?
You can find me on YouTube at Inceadius, INCEADUS. Unfortunately, I had to go with a bit of an awkward YouTube name. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Blightwind. You can find me on Twitter at Blight_Dota. And you can check me out there. Please follow me all there. Support, the smaller casters. We need love.
Yep, and also you've been doing some Dota Bro stuff. So shout out to Dota Bro putting on some decently sized money to spreading the love of the Dota 2 scene. So you can find Blightwind there as well with the Blaze. So really big shouts to all the tournaments that are going on. Dota 2 it just seems to go nowhere but up at this point. And it's good
Yeah,
to be on the train.
if you guys don't know what Dota Bros is, at the moment we have a European ladder, so you register a team through Steam, and it will put you with a matchmaking rating. You compete against teams of a similar skill level. You advance up through the ladder. Recently, we just finished up a tournament. It was the top 16 teams on the ladder. Just shortly after that, we launched our US, North American ladder, and I think very shortly we're looking to launch a Southeast Asian one as well. So literally, no matter where you live in the world, we'll be able to accommodate you. We're going to have streams 24/7. I think the stream for that is twitch.tv/DotaBros. So you can just check it out there. We're going to be casting pretty much as often as we can. So go support my friend Blaze. He's a great caster. And again, check it out. We are looking for big things from that.
Yep. So thank y'all for watching as usual. Really exciting games for this one cast or one video a day for January. So thanks for watching and stay tuned for more casts. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon. Peace out.